Hello, my name is Jim Kwock, and this is the Jim Kwock podcast, very first episode. And I'm recording you here at my home in Hawaii with my business partner, Jasmine Vo, who we're going to spend some time interviewing today to tell me all about where she came from and how she got into Subto and how we became partners together. So, welcome, Jasmine.
Hi, Jim. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm doing great. And tell us where you're calling us from.
Houston, Texas, right now.
Right, Houston, Texas, and Honolulu, Hawaii. Um, so this is our first one. Have no idea how this is going to go, but we're just going to go for it.
Right, we're
Okay,
just gonna wing it.
we're just going to wing it. Okay, um, so what I'd like to do is on this time that we have together is to spend some time getting to know you and to have everybody know why I absolutely adore you. Right, you're my partner for a reason, and I want people to see the part of your personality that I see and why we're going to just do great together going forward. Okay, so let's start with where it all started. Let's talk about your childhood, where you grew up, and how you got here.
Okay. I'm from Vietnam. We fled Vietnam when I was about 8 years old by boat, a family fishing boat, that is. There was about probably 30 of us on the boat.
Wow.
Yeah. So we made it out to sea and we got picked up by the Navy ship. So, and then we were brought to, I think, one of the camps in the Philippines, Manila, I remember. And we were there for about 2 years. I remember my parents, my mom, actually, my mom and my grandma would leave camp and sell like candy and stuff like that to make a living. Um, so while we're at camp, I remember in the morning we would line up, they give us bread, things like that for breakfast. Um, so after that, after about 2 years, we were sponsored by my grandma's brother who came to the US in 1975. So they sponsor us and they were in New Orleans. We came through California. I think everybody had to make a stop in California. And
Right.
then we came to New Orleans because my grandma's brother was there. Their family was there. So I ended up growing,
Oh, okay, family there.
yeah. So they sponsored us and then we just ended up living there for um from 8 until what I was maybe 29. Then
Oh, so you spent most of your life in New Orleans.
uh-huh.
And how
Yeah.
many people? How many of your family members were with you?
Um so I think we all I mean we all came together like the almost the 30 of us and then we all
30.
yeah,
Wow, your whole family.
yeah. And so we got we stayed in New Orleans for a while and then my uncles they kind of um moved found like a way of living because they were fishermen by trade.
Oh, okay.
So they found like a small town in Texas. It's called Seadrift, Texas, which is like where they go crabbing and stuff like that. So that's when we started separating. My uncles moved, and my mom and my grandma stayed in New Orleans. And both my mom and my grandma are widower, so they raised us. And uh, my mom, um, she does, I guess, hard labor work. Like
Mm,
she shuck oysters for a living
wow.
for like all her life that she's been here until just recently she retired. So about 30, almost 40 years. So that's hard
Wow.
work.
Wow.
Waking up at 3, 4 in the morning and, you know, come home about by noon. So yeah. And I just went to high school in New Orleans, went to LSU, and then after I graduated, kind of just went into the beauty business. Just opened up a nail salon and then worked that for a few years. Sold that, moved to Houston.
Oh, okay.
That was the very first time I got out of Houston. I've never been outside of New Orleans anywhere.
Really?
So yeah,
You stayed there the whole time?
yeah.
Wow.
So went to Houston, and then that's like what I've been here, like what, almost, no, my son is 19, so 20 years, 21, 22 years now. So yeah, so that's how I ended up in Houston. Right.
So have you traveled outside of Houston or just over there
Yeah.
between?
So um when I got here to Houston, that's when I guess my world kind of opened up a little bit more.
Okay.
So got to travel here and there, went to New York, and then I met my husband, and then we went to Hawaii.
Really? Okay. So you've been
Yeah.
here.
Yes, I've been there a couple times. In Maui, Waikiki.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Waikiki's on Oahu, where I live.
yeah. So yeah. So it's funny to say that my world opened, because when I was in New Orleans, I've never seen interracial dating until I moved out. Until I went to Houston, I started seeing, so that's why I say my world opened up.
And it opened up in Houston or in New Orleans?
In Houston.
In
Yeah.
Houston.
Because we kind of just stayed to ourselves, like when we were in New Orleans. Yeah. So,
Right.
but yeah, so now I'm just here, having just an entrepreneur over here, also just working for myself.
So what do you like? What do you like better? Do you like Houston better or New Orleans?
Houston, of course, it's
Okay.
so much more diverse.
There's a lot to do there, a lot of
There's a
diverse,
lot,
lots of different kinds of food.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots of people.
a
And you
lot.
went to LSU. How did you like it there?
I like it. I mean, it's what I know. It's great. I mean, it has a great football team.
I know. See, I went to USC, and the first I learned about LSU was when they played each other. Yeah, or they were. I'm not. They actually didn't play each other. They were both going for the national championship in the early 2000s, and LSU edged us out. So that was obviously a little bit of a bitter pill because they didn't get to play each other, which we would have really been happy if they got to play each other, right?
Yeah, and the one thing that I get to, I guess, quote unquote, brag about is I was there while Shaquille O'Neal was at the same time, at the same LSU at the same time. So I just hear the guys talk about him, how he's on campus. So I know of him. That's all.
Do you actually know him?
No, I know of him.
Oh, okay.
But no, yeah, but I always tell my kids, I was there when Shaquille O'Neal was there.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. Well, he's one of my favorite basketball players because obviously I went to school at USC. And so I'm a big USC Trojan fan and a Laker fan. And I grew up in Southern California. So I'm a Dodger fan and Rams fan. So, and we just got a rivalry. I don't know why we have a rivalry because we don't play them, LSU, just a rivalry in the polls or whatever. And you took one of our coaches and Ed Ogeron. And then he won a national championship with LSU just recently. So that was really great. Yeah. So when did you meet? Tell me about your husband. How did you meet him?
Oh, that's a funny story. So it was a girls' night out. We went to a club, and that's how I met my husband, at a club. I was just sitting by the bar. He came up and we started talking. And that's it. He asked me like questions and things like that. If I want something to drink, of course I didn't drink. So I turn around to my girls. I say, what do you want to drink? He's buying. So he got my girls all drinks except me because I don't drink. So yeah. So that's how we met. And of course, the
Were you
one
in
question
college?
I asked him, because I was a little bit older, people think that he thought I was like in my 20s. So I asked him for his ID to make sure, because
You asked him for his ID?
I asked him how old he is. He said he's 21. He said he's 21. And then I was like, okay, let me see your ID, because you're just a kid. Because I'm in my, like, I was like in my late 20s, like 30 almost.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, if you're 21, you're too young for me. So
Oh my
I
God.
had to ask for his ID. But
Oh
yeah,
my God.
so
Him.
so that's how
funny.
we met.
Oh, great.
And then the rest is history.
Yeah. And then you have, how many kids do you have? You have 2
I
kids,
have
right?
3 kids.
3 kids.
I do have 3, 19, 18, and a 13-year-old. 1 boy and 2 girls.
Right.
Yeah.
I have 3 boys. So, and mine are 21, 26, and almost 30 this month.
Wow.
So, yeah.
They're all
3
grown.
boys.
It's nice.
Yeah, they are. They are. And the greatest thing is when your first child gets their first job, that kind of validates your parenting, right? So that was
I'm
a big
looking
moment.
forward to it.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember those days. Okay, so and so now, so you're in Houston, and you started a business in Houston, and
Yeah.
is that the current business you have now? Okay, so tell me about that. How did you come to do that?
You know, it's a lash. You know, I don't think a lot of people know. I mean, it's a pretty, I say it's not a new industry, but it's became more popular just recent in the last 10 years, probably, I would say. You know, I went to get my lashes done one day, and then my husband is like, okay, whatever you do. And he never say anything about me getting beauty stuff done. But he's like, whatever you do, just keep getting lashes. It makes you look like a totally different person.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So then I'm like, so it might be a good business, and it was lucrative from the way people were charging.
Right.
So, that's how I got into it. I looked into it, and it's something that I like to do, being that somewhat an introverted person. So the customer would just lay there and sleep while you make them beautiful. So you don't have to talk to them. We just said, say hi when they come in, ask how they're feeling. After that, they fall asleep, and then by the time they wake up, they just love the way they look. And
really?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing. That's great. Yeah. I mean, like, I know about spas, like you get massages, facials. You can get, I didn't know there was hair. I mean, like facial, that was like a new thing for me. You could do hair removal, depilation.
They do everything now.
Yeah.
Wig, extension.
Hair extensions. Yeah, hair extensions.
Yes, hair
Beauty
extensions.
business is really big.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now your kids are, you said 30, so you have some young kids still.
I have one that's, she's I guess she's a teenager now. Because she's 13.
Yeah, those are the tough years.
Yeah. My 19-year-old, this is his second year at Texas A&M. He is studying finance.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
You could be your finance guy for your PML business. Perfect.
Yeah. And then my 18-year-old, she just started University of Houston. Go Cougars. And then she's studying business also for now. That's what.
Oh, good. Yeah, my son, my youngest son, wanted to go to Rice. That was his
Yeah.
number one choice, but it was too hard to get in. But
Yeah.
that's where he wanted to go. That's a really, really great
Great.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the tuition isn't high relative to other places too. So yeah, anybody who can get in there has really got a good deal.
Hmm.
So okay, so that's great. So tell me how you got into real estate in sub two.
Okay. How I did I get here? Um, I stumbled on Pace's video. Of course, before that, I just thought the only way to own real estate is just the
Right.
traditional way.
Mhm.
So just searching on YouTube, I stumbled on one his video, and then well, actually, something popped up on uh, my Facebook ad. One of these, it's called Ring, which is Women Real Estate Investor Network, which is like a women thing for women
Mhm.
network. And then I signed up for it just to do the little master course that they had. And then I got interested in, that's when I got interested in real estate and started doing a little bit more digging. That's when I stumbled on Pace's video. And then that's how I got into all this and met you on the free
Yeah,
page, got into the free creative page. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to interject a little bit. So um, I actually saw one of Pace's videos when I was struggling with my current business. Right, I was having my current business is doing vacation rentals, and I do it in timeshares. And so once you do that, you start getting into conflict with the developers because they don't want you doing what you're doing. And so they're constantly changing the rules. And after doing this for 19 years, they just went another step too far. And I says, man, I got to do something else because eventually I keep winning and I keep fighting, but they keep making it harder. And so I said, okay, I've got a team of people. I want to keep them employed. I better go learn some new things. And I was just watching YouTube one day and I saw this video from Pace Morby that came up, and he was on the Iced Coffee Hour podcast. And he was talking about how he made he bought $300 million worth of property through a concept called Subto.
Hmm.
So I'm a Florida real estate broker, so I actually know what Subto is, and I thought based on the nature of the current market, that would actually be a really good place to get started, and I could learn this. And so I started first, like what he said, just go to the free Facebook page where we got 100,000 people and figure out what to do. And so sure enough, I found you there. And I'll tell you, you knew exactly how to work with me, right? So I had all these ideas, but I didn't know where anything was. And so the thing that was really great about you is that anytime I ever needed anything, you knew where it was. I said, holy cow, Jasmine knows this. And it says, well, then I found out about this Gator thing. And in Gator, um, they were doing the EMD was the big thing there. But the thing that really caught my attention was the
Hmm.
ability to, through lending, being able to get equity deals through lending. I says, that's what I want to do. I want to see if there's a way to get involved in real estate in the sub two by lending. And so I was talking to you about it. And you said, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this because you've been following all the coursework. So the way I like to tell people is that we're going to college together. I skip class and I'm going, oh my God, what did I miss? Oh, I got to call Jasmine. She's going to tell me what I missed. Can I borrow your notes?
Yeah.
Because you always knew where everything was and what I needed to do. And whenever I had a question, you knew where to go. And then, so at that time, we says, hey, right, TC sounds like that's what a TC does. And so as we worked on a number of things together, that seemed to be a great fit. Where for me, I wanted to be a buy and hold. I decided to do PML, because that's what people needed, and that's where we got in together.
Right.
And then you were taking the TC work.
Right. Because we kind of came up with this. Well, the way I thought about it is, you're the hunter, you bring in the deals and I would TC. So that's how we kind of agreed to this partnership, came to this partnership. And I
exactly.
And kind of after going through the avatar, Pace's avatar too. And I was like, yeah, TC is something that I, identify with. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I've done quite a number of deals now, and you've gone through the training, and now we're right at the point on the verge of doing a bunch of deals with you, right? To do the TC work. So tell me about that. Tell me about what you've learned in the TC work, that what's important for you there to be successful.
Keep a open line of communication with everyone, from title to buyer, seller, everyone that's involved. You have to keep an open line of communication.
Definitely. Definitely. And what I tell people is that what I need for my TC is you're protecting me. And so I don't like to work with any TC. I do like to have a TC in every deal, okay, no matter what kind of deal it is, because the TC knows all the paperwork, right? That's what's important to me. And so it's the same thing. It's like whenever I needed something, I could ask Jasmine, what do you have? What do I need to do here? And then you knew, right? So that's the thing, right? So now if we're doing a specific type of transaction I've never done before, I know that the deal's going to work, but I don't know how to do the transaction, right? And that's what you're an expert at. You know where everything is. And for some reason, I never know where anything is, right? I can't even find spreadsheets that I created sometimes. So for me, and my team, the TC and the underwriter on my team are the most important, right? Because they help me vet the deals. I'm the hunter. I go out and look for the deals. And then I need a person like you. And the reason why I love working with you is because you know where everything is. That's it. That's the reason. And that's why you should work with Jasmine, right? So
thank you, Jim.
Yeah, that's it. So tell me, what are you trying to accomplish within real estate? You did the women's group thing, and
Yeah, so eventually, TC would be like my number one goal right now, to do TC work. And we talked about maybe with title companies and things like that. But as far as real estate, I would like to, eventually own some rentals, passive income. I think that's what everyone goal is, either rentals or midterm. I'm learning a little bit about arbitrage for midterm rental, so just to look for a way to get some passive income coming in the
right.
future.
So as to get your everyday money, you want to do TC work, right? You can earn some money doing that, and then at the same time, you get access to a lot of deals,
right?
So then buy selectively the ones in the areas that are going to work really well for you, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the goal. So I hope we can do that together. I really do. I really am happy that I met you. You're the very first person I call you all the time. I really like our conversations. You help me brainstorm ideas, right? You help me find things. He says, "Hey, this is my favorite one." Jasmine calls me up one day and she says, "Jim, congratulations." I go, "Congratulations for what?" She says, "You're going to community camp." I'm going, "What? No, I didn't. I didn't do enough posting in the Facebook group because I didn't want to just do, fake posts just so I could get selected." He says, "No, you got selected. Look, go look here." I had no idea. And it's because there was a specific qualifier, which is if you invested in the Subto fund, you became an automatic participant. And that was the greatest event, right? So now you and I are doing Project Forward together.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why we're doing this video. Going way beyond my own comfort zone. I never did anything. I don't even like looking at my own face in pictures.
I don't think anybody does.
I'm an extrovert. I don't like it. Right. And so it's gone way beyond my comfort zone, but it's been good for me.
Very
good for me. And I feel good about how this podcast is going. I don't have any problems with anything. And I think it's a good description of how you and I got together, and we'll look at, in 5 years, we'll look back and say, yeah, that's when we just first got started.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to be a great relationship for us, partnership. And, I hope that we keep this going for a while.
Yeah.
Until we decide we want to retire.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not ready. I'm just getting started again. It's making me starting me back into my 40s.
Yeah.
Okay, Jasmine, thank you so much for being my partner. Thank you so much for everything you do. And thank you for being part of my podcast.
Well, thank you for being my battle partner.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess I have to do yours soon.
Yeah. Okay. I ended the record.